Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Sweet Spot. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Taylor Burrowes. And today I'm going to be talking briefly about a common mistake a lot of people make when they think they're finding compatibility when they're not. Now I hope this doesn't apply to you. You'll have to tell me in the comments below. Listen up. How I define compatibility is a combination of shared qualities that make you similar, the right ones, and unshared qualities that make you different in the right way. So think of compatibility as commonality and contrast. Are you making a lot of bad assumptions about where you should be meeting people? Now, it's important to go to places that bring you joy, the things that are genuinely something that you're interested in. So whether that's hobbies or interests or activities, or perhaps even some new activities that you're just curious about. The problem is a lot of people look for someone who is too similar to them, and this is going to disturb the polarity in the relationship dynamic. I work with a lot of men and women, but when I work with men and they tell me they're looking for a partner in their work environment, so maybe they go to conferences or workshops or some kind of training program, and that's where they're looking to meet someone because they feel comfortable in a situation where someone is very much like them. After talking to thousands of clients as a coach and before in my previous life as a therapist, I'm now retired, it seems like a lot of people assume compatibility is someone who is just like you. And this is not accurate. But the problem here is that you're looking for someone who has similar interests in a working capacity when you want someone who's going to be complementary. So to make this clear, having shared core values and interests, let's say it was around activities and fitness or religion and faith, all those things are really important, and you want to look at the overarching principles that are shared so that you can merge in your mission together. But the exclusion to this is when we're talking about a work scenario. So if you have similar fields of interest, you want to see each other work and function and shine in a complementary capacity. So not two CEOs competing for authority, but maybe a support staff and a professional, something like that, a doctor and a nurse, a lawyer and a secretary, a paralegal. These are more complementary roles. A major problem with sharing too much in common is that you're going to relate to each other, creating too much comfort, but also you might end up in a competitive dynamic. So let's say you like to look for someone who is exposed to a lot of the same things that you do for a living, whether that's entrepreneurial or corporate. But if you're looking for someone in that environment in the same capacity, it's going to be like a male and female version of each other. And that distorts polarity. You need to have the complement in your partner in order to have healthy, positive polarity. One of the reasons why I think this happens is because as a person, you're kind of concerned or doubtful, insecure about not being liked, not being accepted, and not being understood. So you seek out someone who is the same as you in a lot of ways because you think that's going to make it easier to find that healthy compatibility and harmony in a relationship. But it doesn't actually work that way. So you want to look for someone who is emotionally mature and intelligent and can communicate really well, because conflict is very important in a relationship. You have to have that contrast, you have to have tension, and you have to learn how to navigate that in a good way in a relationship. So let me offer an example. Let's say you're a man and you are really growth oriented. You are an entrepreneur and you're very activated and you want to learn and develop yourself to build wealth, to build success, and to achieve. This is your mission. But you are so pigeonholed and your focus is so set on these endeavors that you don't really have a lot of time for your personal life, so you don't do much else. Now, instead, you're focusing on the courses and the training and the retreats and the workshops that you can go to in order to cultivate those skills. And while you're there, you figure, why not interact and connect with women who could potentially be a really good partner? But it doesn't actually work that way. This is a better place for you to look for business partners or friends because you're going to be too similar. Imagine ending up in a relationship with two people who have very similar goals. They both are high achieving. They both are activated. They both are growth oriented, and they are doers, and they're ambitious, and they want to succeed. So if you're trying to create a classic dynamic with a woman like this, it's going to be very difficult. What you need to be looking for instead instead is a woman who's able to turn toward you and orient herself towards supporting you and encouraging you and building you up, uplifting you, and doing what she can to help you succeed, because you are going to be the breadwinner, you're going to be the head of household. Now, that doesn't mean that she cannot have her own purpose. She can have her own business, she can have her own work, and she can also make some money. But it's not all going to be about two competing avenues for your focus, your time, your energy, your money, etc. You can't have two CEOs in a relationship like that. You're both equally important, but you have to play complementary roles in a classic relationship dynamic that has positive polarity. There's another caveat. Now, don't feel like you can't connect to people when you're at these types of events, but maybe you should be looking in a different direction. So perhaps you should be looking around rather than right in front of you, as in maybe there's some support staff, whether they are serving, whether they are organizing, or whether they're working around the building and the venue that are holding these events. So think creatively and not necessarily just taking what is at face value right in front of your face, because those people you're gonna share a lot of commonalities with, but it's really a matter of the capacity in which this person is going to fit in your life for the long term. A lot of these power couples will come together and start a relationship, perhaps even get married, perhaps even have a child or two, but they don't last. And this is exactly why, because they're on two different trajectories, and eventually their purposes compete with each other, and it just doesn't last, and it breaks up and dissolves into a divorce situation and perhaps having custody issues with a child. And that's always so very sad, and maybe that's something that you don't regret, but if you want to avoid that fate, make sure that the person that you are connecting to is compatible with you, because they're complementary to you and you have positive polarity. I hope you enjoyed this relationship reality check this week. And if you did, like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment below with your experiences and how you feel this applies to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.